Welcome everyone back to my channel. We're continuing with the fantasy story, My Saviour is a Werewolf. And this is the ending, the last part to the short story anyway. So we're on chapter 5. Remember, they had just said their goodbyes and separated. Stefano could not go far. He stayed nearby because he wanted to watch over his true love. He wanted her to be safe. He needed to know she was safe. When the moon rose up in the night sky, full and bright, Stefano heard wailing from Versini's village, and he had to get closer to see what was happening, because whatever it was had been very unexpected. He could tell. The screams themselves told him this was an unexpected attack. And indeed, it was a catastrophe. Maybe this is the catastrophe that Versini felt was coming. Vampires had invaded the village. The leader, being called Rubix, led her followers to break any magic barrier placed by Versini. The vampires wanted to create nothing but complete bloodshed. Stefano realised the seriousness of this attack, and he had the inhibitor firmly in his hand. But he decided this was not right, and he discarded the potion in the grass. He wanted to endure the pain of the transformation so he could hopefully protect the village and his lover. But he did not know if he would react differently when transformed. All he had was the faith that he would do the right thing, no matter what. Stefano felt his skin pulling and pulling. His body grew longer. Bones popped and reshaped. Fingers bent into claws. The pain he feels is unbearable. But his focus is on saving his lover and protecting her. So the pain is worth it to him 10 times over. Chapter 6. The greatest honour of my life is to be able to fight side by side with you, for I am your protector, and there is nothing I would not do. The wizards prepared all the magic they could. All of their wands were ready, but the vampires had such a lust for blood, the fight seemed too hard. The people and wizards were being backed into corners, and they felt like defeat was coming. In such panic of the fight that had beheld them and the invasion, the people knew vampires were afraid of fire, and with their lit torches they began to set huts on fire, even houses, in complete panic. Stefano transformed. Still, his mind was intact. He knew his bite as a werewolf was deadly to vampires. Swiftly and silently he surprised the vampires from the rear. The vampires were in shock. They had not ever thought that a werewolf would be around, though at first, in fear, the leader, Rubix, pushed the attack onto Stefano. Now, Stefano getting cornered, Valenci knew if the leader of the vampires fell, the rest would have no power. Valencia attacked, and she wounded Rubix. She used incantations to take down the leader. This allowed Stefano in werewolf form to rip out her heart as black and unbeating as it was and eat it. And then with one swift move, he decapitated her. The vampire leader died. To the ground, she was gone. The vampires left cried a terrible screech, and all of them seemed to flee in complete panic and fear. Stefano, though a beast, fell to the floor exhausted and injured, with so many infusions of magical herbs inside him, from being between the impact of the magicians and the vampires. This alone was not good for a werewolf, let alone the bites, the scratches. All of the villagers were so grateful to Stefano. and looked upon him as a saviour, feeling compassion and loyalty for him, as he had done them. The villagers wanted to help Valencia cure Stefano. They needed the beast out of him, so they went about gathering all that was needed. The fangs of Rubix were used, along with the blood for Rubix was now also used for a sacrifice for the cure. The blood that was needed had to be sacrificed blood of a leader of the vampire clan. They now had all this. Stefano was cured of the werewolf curse, and things calmed, and in a few months the village was repaired and over the vicious attack. Valencia was made the priestess of all the wizards, and Stefano and her were married in the village with everyone's blessings. All the villagers and their ancestors continued to tell the story of how true love meets hardships, but always prevails triumphant in the end, no matter the circumstances. The end. Thank you for listening. It's written by me, short story. That's the ending of it. And many blessings.